Coming up on NCC News, new water safety for this summer. Hello, I'm Daniel Aguilar.
And I'm Mike Squires.
In our top story, fun in the sun is always great, but there's some new things you'll need to know when in the summer. The new tips to keep your kids safe and happy this summer. Holly Pfeffer has a story.
But as with any season, there are some precautions that children should take. Water safety is a must. Even though it's fun to frolic in the pool, there are still germs lurking. Best way to avoid them is to think of your fellow swimmers. Teach children that a pool is not a public toilet. Have kids take regular potty breaks and make sure your little ones never swallow the water. Always wear a helmet when biking. If the family is boating, wear a life jacket. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that of the people who died in boating incidents in 2009, more than 7 out of 10 drowned. More than 90% of the people who drowned were not wearing a life jacket. Beat the heat. Summer temperatures can get pretty intense, so check to see if your child is not overdoing it. Remember to keep youngsters hydrated by giving them lots of liquids. Water's the best. And never, ever leave children or pets in parked cars on a hot day, even if the windows are open. Sun feel good? You bet. But make sure your little ones have sunscreen that protect them from UVA and UVB rays. Remember, baby's skin can sunburn easily. All great tips to keep kids happy and healthy this summer. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Pfeffer.
Hopefully my kids won't get sunburned. Amazing sports cars. Can you even buy them? Daniel Aguilar will show us. Here we have Germany's biggest car show. It is actually the biggest car show worldwide. The cars range from Ferraris to Mazdas. This car has collector cars and even has cars worth over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most collectors come here to purchase their cars and have them shipped back to their houses and locations. It's rare that you'll ever see these cars driven because most of these are collectors and they don't want to damage them.
I didn't even get to drive one. Computer viruses may not only be your only problem. Today, there's a large group of cyber hackers invaded your computer screen. Let's take a look on that video.
Heartbleed's probably one of the largest security exposures that we've ever seen, at least that I can remember in 10 or 15 years. It impacts almost all of the internet.
David Kennedy, a security researcher and self-described ethical hacker, calls Heartbleed the bug that broke the internet.
Everybody was affected by this. I mean, you had Facebook that was affected, Yahoo was affected. A number of companies were, large companies that we put our information in every single day were affected.
And while companies have worked to fix it, the security flaw is untraceable, making it difficult to tell if you've been compromised.
If you use the internet for any purpose, there will be an effect.
Robert Hansen, also an ethical hacker, says don't use the same password for different sites.
In light of Heartbleed, probably the very first thing you should do is go to your search engine and type in Heartbleed check. And if you're going to go do business with a website, type in that website's name into that form and see whether it is or isn't vulnerable to Heartbleed.
So how do hackers keep themselves safe?
There's things like what are called two-factor authentication. Things that allow you to have to enter a password in and something else. For example, Gmail has this built in automatically.
You're an ethical hacker and you know a lot about how people hack. So take me through your browsing history. When you go to Facebook, when you go to Twitter, when you check your email.
I don't actually know any of my passwords inside of my head. I only know one password. But my passwords are literally anywhere between 32 and 50 characters long, and they're completely unique to where you're never going to be able to guess those.
Kennedy keeps his passwords stored in something called a password vault. Programs like KeePass and 1Pass for Mac are built for this.
Passwords themselves are pretty much a legacy or an old type of way of thinking. We need to move to other technologies, like, for example, biometric is a great one. It's definitely possible from a technology perspective to say, hey, I want to log into Gmail, swipe your finger, verifies who you are, and all of a sudden now you're logged into Gmail and not have to remember passwords, and it's tied to this.
The iPhone 5S and the Galaxy S5 now have fingerprint scanners, but both systems have been beaten by hackers. More advanced biometrics could provide greater security. Things like identity by voice or even your heartbeat. For now, the internet remains vulnerable, and the ones who know it best take extreme precautions.
I'm always in private mode, which means every time I close my browser, the cache and cookies are removed. All ads are removed. All tracking systems are disabled. The list goes on and on.
Lori Siegel, CNN Money, New York.
Absolutely fascinating. That was Lori Siegel with the story. My question is it Bieber fever or Bieber never? Stay tuned for more. Justin Bieber had been hearing about his citizenship in the United States. Daniel Aguilar is going to tell us. Justin Bieber lost his visa because the American government took it from him after people were complaining. He is now returning to Canada on a flight. They want Bieber shows have been canceled for this up-and-coming year. He has canceled 14 dates, and the promoters are all angry. They have lost over $500,000 from these shows off ticket sales.
Amazing that people still flock to see him. Here, we'll take you into the heart of the community to learn about Aquit's director at a Boys and Girls Club.
In a backyard in Alvin swings a very lucky girl.
She'll be due in a half in May.
If you look closely, you'll see scars. They're from a dog attack.
How is she doing? She's great. You wouldn't know it if you couldn't see. If you're a blind man, you wouldn't know anything is wrong.
And what her mom, Chelsea Camp, did right that day was let her own animal instincts kick in.
You do whatever you can, and I don't have physical strength at my side.
It was the end of March. Chelsea was dog-sitting a friend's pit bull, who was friendly until he met Mackenzie.
And the dog came up and he was just curious. And when he smelt her, that's when you just kind of saw it flip, because I think he smelt my dog on her.
The dog attacked the little girl, so Chelsea was forced to fight, shoving her fist into the dog's mouth and even biting off its ear, all while telling her daughter to turn over so she didn't choke on blood.
I only know to fight, so how else do you get somebody to stop? I mean, I would do the same thing with a human being.
Chelsea has bite marks up her arms. It took a while, but she now has full use of them again.
I can actually hold her. I couldn't hold her for the first week. That was the hardest part.
So mom's back to work, and with a little extra protection from the sun, Mackenzie is back to playing and having fun.
She's a strong little girl and a fighter, and she's meant to be here.
Wow, that was such a brave little girl. Everyone loves dogs, but when things go wrong, what do you do? At our own community college, we hosted a legislative breakfast to talk about the budget of the school and more. Let's take a look.
Of March 5th, Norwalk Community College hosted their annual legislative breakfast, held in the Culinary Arts Dining Room. The breakfast was for members of the State House of Representatives to hear the issues of the Norwalk Community College campus expansion, the transformation of the CSCU 2020 programs, the Go Back and Get Ahead College Affordability Program, and the Wright Tech High School and Norwalk Community College collaboration. I met with the president of Norwalk Community College, Dr. David L. Levinson, and asked him what new things we could look forward to with the new campus expansion.
What we're going to be doing is building out from where our cafeteria is to make it a more hospitable student union space. We're going to be building a bridge across Richards Avenue for safety, and also then rehabilitating our theater, our PepsiCo Theater on the East Campus.
Then asked him when the estimated time of the process would start.
Well, the architects have been hired. They're going to be doing the design phase, hoping they will be here very shortly. And then, construction, it's unclear. We're hoping by 2016-17 to have the project completed.
Throughout the breakfast, Dr. Levinson explained to the representatives of the state that Norwalk Community College has been overlooked for years when it came to the budget. He explained that he understands bigger state schools need more funding, but for the last several years it has been way too much. With these projects, Dr. Levinson explained with the higher budget, Norwalk Community College could become not only the best college in the state, but on the whole East Coast, catering to young adults in and out of college and making their futures brighter. The Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Honorable Brendan Sharkey spoke after Dr. Levinson and agreed that NCC is an overlooked gem in the state. He then also said he was supportive of the bigger budget and campus expansion. He then proceeded to explain that this can only work with the support of the representatives and the cooperation of Norwalk Community College and Dr. Levinson. The breakfast came to a conclusion on Wednesday morning with Dr. Levinson and the Honorable Brendan Sharkey standing side by side in agreement.
Amazing what a little breakfast in the morning will do to brighten your spending budget. Music blasting and everyone having fun. That doesn't sound like school. Oh, but it was. NCC hosted open mic night for students and faculty to express themselves. Let's check it out.
All the students are talented. Well, at least for the most part. There was no shortage of students eager to show off their skills at the campus annual open mic. Knowing students are busy with classes and also spontaneous, there were signs up all the way till the start of the show. After asking students about what the campus open mic does for NCC, this is one of the responses.
You know, they could actually find a meaning to why they should be in school.
A truthful and sincere statement, and then showing off his skills to a grooving crowd. Another student, James Potter, had these words to say about the open mic.
I found out about an hour ago, and I really wish I had something prepared for it because I've been thinking about going to an open mic, maybe like up in New Haven or something, but it's just great to know that they're going to do this a lot closer, local, and I hope I could grow on it, become more comfortable with other people, and make more friends, you know?
From guitars to rap to rock and more, Norwalk Community College open mic was a smash hit with over 20 performers. We can truly say NCC is stepping up the bar in creativity in schools in the area.
Wow, it sounds like everyone's on the same level. Coming up, we have 8 of your fellow students going abroad to improve their skills.
What college are you going to?
I don't know.
What do you want to be?
I don't know. My parents want me to be an architect.
Architect?
Yeah, but it's my future. I want to do something that turns me on.
What turns you on?
I don't know.
We know NCC has a student success center where counselors assist every student in creating a future.
You'd make a cute pirate.
I don't know.
We know. Be who you want to be. Create your future at NCC.
Planning on eating anytime soon? If so, check out some of the food at the Culinary Arts program at NCC.
Favorite and beautiful places to eat and drink in the world, you might think of France. Well, 8 Norwalk Community College students are making that trip. 8 culinary arts students right here from NCC will take a step further in their education by going overseas to some of the most highly regarded culinary arts schools in the world. Seeing the process of their profession all the way from the grape to the bottle, or the chicken to how it's presented, these students have a lot to look forward to.
Introduce yourself.
Their teacher had this to say.
It's an academic trip, so there is academic credit. It's part of our international foods class, and they'll keep a journal, and it's strictly educational. I don't think there'll be any recreational time. We'll be staying at 2 French
I then asked him what their day-to-day schedule looked like, and his response was,
We will be, during the day, we'll be traveling to different farms and different places of interest.
After hearing that, I also learned that they were going to a winery. From this student.
My name is Alex Kapuscinski. I'm a student in the hospitality program. And the qualifications for the trip, mainly just to be a student in the hospitality program, to have a good GPA. So we're going to see a winery. And that should be interesting, see how wine is made there, how they make cheese there.
After seeing how hard they've worked to achieve this trip, it sounds like all their hard work has paid off and now behind them on the tarmac.
Wow, that's amazing. College students need to release some bottled energy over the course of a semester. At NCC, you can do just that. Let's take a look.
State, UConn, all top-notch academic facilities that understand that to have smart minds, you also need healthy bodies to study and work harder. Norwalk Community College is no different. With the Pitney Bowes Foundation Wellness Center at NCC, we spoke with Ty Grayson, the Assistant Director of Wellness.
We do offer free health fitness assessments and program design by our second-year exercise science students who have the coursework to enable them to do that. They do it under our supervision, myself and Professor Nicole Hafner, full-time exercise science faculty member, where they will take these second-year students will spend in our separate assessment laboratory about an hour to an hour and a quarter with a student or other college community member, testing them, asking them about their fitness goals, health-related concerns, and then they'll meet again a week out, and that student will have developed a cardiovascular training program for the person, strength training and flexibility training. They'll explain their reasons for making.
Free for all students, the Wellness Center provides a healthy environment including yoga, body composition, weights, and more. The equipment is state-of-the-art, helping you have a better workout experience. I then asked Ty if the Wellness Center works with the school in any of their wellness classes. This is what he had to say.
Another HP, health and physical education, which is where all our activity courses and the exercise science courses are located. We have a new one called Introduction to Wellness, where the student who registers for that course, it's a 3-credit open elective. They'll learn about fitness, they'll learn about nutrition, they'll learn about time and stress management. They'll learn how to assess themselves in all 3 areas and develop a program for positive behavior change in those. And that evaluation is not on like, oh, how big did their bicep get or how narrow did their waist get, but rather certainly how well they understood the course content and been able to apply it.
Okay. The last thing I asked Ty was what they do to stop injury in their facilities. He explained that they work close with first-time gym members. They also encourage students to drop weights or max out to avoid any exertion of muscles.
Highly vascularized organ in the body, as well as stride legs to where you're walking. You can increase it a little further to where you're jogging. No exercise to be great. Bench press, which is really a push-up with weights. You think you're going just straight forward, but the body wants to do an arc, do a curve. And this machine, because it travels back on another track, will enable you to do that also for things like squats, even bicep pull, all kinds of things. So here comes the bench press on the dual action.
Creating strong-minded and bodied students at NCC is the goal.
Learning how to operate a pool is hard work. This is someone who has been doing it for years, and she'll explain how to do it the best.
Girls Club of Greenwich. I've been here for 9 years.
The Boys and Girls Club of Greenwich has pushed for years to have a great aquatics program. Talking to Dawn Barakal, we were able to learn about some of the things that are important about keeping your pool clean. As the aquatics director for close to 10 years, Dawn has pushed for the importance of maintenance, and she says that it's essential to having an aquatics program be successful. When I asked her about it, this is what she had to say.
Test 3 times a day. You have to watch, you have to make sure your chlorine is filled, you have to make sure your pumps are running, you make sure your filters are clean, and basically the pool is also has good chemicals. We've got a lot of new programs that are consistently starting every year.
I then asked her what programs her aquatics team offers.
When I first started, there was just a small swim program and a small swim team. Now we have, our swim team is doubled. We also started with not only a competitive swim team, a practice swim team. Our swim lessons have gone from 96 kids to over 250 kids. We've started things like water ballet. We've started things like a kayaking class and a snorkeling class. We also have something we call...
With all these programs going on, I asked her how many people needed to be in the pool at one time.
There's at least, I would say, 6 to 7 people at the pool. There's always somebody guarding the pool. But we have 5 swim instructors with 2 lifeguards.
Dawn then started talking about how every pool has to save at least one person from time to time. But how you handle it is what makes you a good staff. Let's hear what she has to say.
Many saves here, and it will not only be as somebody who knows how to not know how to swim, it's also a swimmer who just got tired. It could be somebody who's just panicked. There's been a lot of different situations with rescues, and you just got to stay on it all the time. I've done CPR before. I'm not here. I did CPR on somebody who basically there was no AED machine. It was in a mall. The person's heart exploded, and I was able to keep the person going until the EMS arrived. We're always on top of it. We're always certified. We're always making sure we have CPR certifications, lifeguard certifications up to date.
In the limelight all the time may not be a good thing. This pop sensation has put him back in but for worse.
Chris Brown assault trial was expected to begin Wednesday morning. The pop singer was almost assaulted himself when he was getting out of his motorcade on Wednesday. When Brown and his league team went to ask for postponement for the extended period of time, he was met by fans and haters voicing their opinions on the pop sensation. Here you can see him going into the city hall.
Please join us next time for more NCC news. I'm Daniel Aguilar.
And I'm Mike Squires. Thank you for joining us, and
good
have
night.
a good night.